Hey, the tanks are coming, ladies and gentlemen. No, not those tanks, not the military tanks, not the ones that go boom and kill people, but these tanks do kill the spirit of people. They kill the soul of young children that get attached to players and teams. And what I want to know is, what do you do when your team is tanking? My name is Dave Hodges. I'm the host of this show, and this show is called Hodgeball Sports Analysis. Really glad we could be with you. We're brought to you by Health Masters. And if you haven't heard me say this before in other areas, Health Masters has saved me from 3 surgeries over several years. And they have a protocol named after me on their website. My good friend Doug Hagman, a newscaster in Pennsylvania, same kind of deal. He has a protocol named after him. Health Masters is great for people with chronic conditions. It's great for people just for health maintenance. Go to healthmasters.com and find out why I go to them before I ever go to my doctor. Use the coupon code 5 to take 5% off at healthmasters.com. Well, I live in Phoenix Hell. Now, I don't live in Phoenix. I live about 20 miles north in the country, rural desert outside the most northwesternly suburb of Phoenix. But I have identified with Phoenix sports for quite some time, and I have to tell you that I've been in literal purgatory for quite a while. As you know, the Arizona Diamondbacks won the World Series. Gosh, it's almost been a generation ago. And then Jerry Colangelo was kicked out as the owner, and new owners came in, and some were really bad guys, and they've gone by the wayside. And Ken Kendrick has survived, and he's a good man. He truly is a good man, good for the community. But the man will never spend the money it takes to make the playoffs 2 years in a row, which the Diamondbacks have not done since Jerry Colangelo owned the team. And the Diamondbacks, again, are tanking. And I've gone through this with Robert Sarver and the Suns. Of course, the Phoenix Suns are a dumpster fire, and so walking insane asylum. But let me break these two down for you, because I think you'll be able to identify if you've had to live through this, like if you were a Cleveland Browns fan, if you're a fan of the Oakland Raiders. Oh, God help you. I mean, I feel so bad for you. The Carolina Panthers, it just never ends. And it seems like teams are always tanking. And the Diamondbacks at the beginning of, well, back up. At the end of last week, the Diamondbacks were 2 games out of a wild card playoff berth contender. They could have gone one of 2 ways. They could have gone and spent the money like they did 3 seasons ago and got J.D. Martinez, and that pushed them over the top and into the playoffs. They defeated Colorado before getting swept by the Dodgers. Or they could have turned around and they could have been sellers and gotten rid of their best assets. Well, they've done this now 2 years in a row. They got rid of Paul Goldschmidt at the end of last season, who's now helped lead the Cardinals into playoff contention. And now they just got rid of Greinke. And for what? For 4 unproven minor league players. Oh, but we forgot something. The Diamondbacks will save $37 million on his salary. You know, they had to pay $24 million to the Astros to take him. And the Astros are getting a great pitcher. Listen, Greinke made the All-Star team, but he's even better than advertised. You know, being here in this market, you see how Greinke was deprived of many wins he would have had on a lot of teams. The Diamondbacks haven't had a good closer all year. Their middle relief has been suspect, and he hasn't often got run support. But he has been truly outstanding this year. At the age of 35, he reminds me of Tom Brady. I mean, he's like the fountain of youth, and it's almost like this guy could go forever. In fact, his velocity on his fastball actually picked up a couple miles an hour this particular season. I'm thinking, my goodness, what are you doing? And he's a great hitter. He's got the highest batting average, or did, on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think he's got more home runs than any pitcher this season. Just a fantastic athlete. And a good guy. I mean, he's quiet, he's unassuming, he doesn't really care about the spotlight. Don't call attention to me, I just want to go out and do my job. What a great guy to have on your team. And now, just like Paul Goldschmidt, who was a wonderful human being, did so much unsung work in our community to help kids with cancer and other situations like that, both gone. And then the Diamondbacks can't wonder why the fans aren't patient with them for their rebuild process. Rebuild, hell, you were 2 games out of a playoff position, and they gave up on the season. And what did the players do? They go play the Marlins, the hapless Marlins, and lose 3 out of 4. They were discouraged. Low morale. The ownership gave up on them. And you can't tell me that doesn't have an effect. And then look at the fans. Their fan base is way down. I haven't been to a game. I won't go to a game since they got rid of Goldschmidt. I just said, that's it. That's not a team that's serious about winning. Goldschmidt's the kind of player that should have been the face of your franchise forever and retired as an Arizona Diamondback. But they didn't even do that with Luis Gonzalez and Randy Johnson, same owner. No loyalty whatsoever. And they don't show loyalty to the fans, to their team. Why should the fans show loyalty to them? And their attendance is going to plummet. And their team is going to nosedive. The morale situation, I'm hearing from some inside sources, is not good at the Arizona Diamondbacks. And there are people hoping that they get dealt. They don't want to be here. Certainly not by the end of the year. They want to be gone. Why? Because they want to play for an owner who is committed to winning instead of tanking. How do you tank your season when you're 2 games out? Now, with the Phoenix Suns, the flip side of this, the Phoenix Suns, the Suns should start tanking on game 1. They got Devin Booker. They got a few pieces, but listen, they went a whole season, a whole NBA season without a legitimate point guard. How do you do that in the NBA? How do you do that? That's like a fireman going to a fire and he doesn't have a hose. How the hell do you do this? And here are the Suns, they'd be 20 games out to the end of the season, and we're not going to play our best players because we want to tank. I think that when they do that, you as a fan, you pay hard-earned money to go see these guys play. You don't pay money to the owner to play games with who plays and who doesn't, and so you see a substandard quality. The NBA and Major League Baseball should find teams who obviously tank. Obviously. And the NBA tanking is all-time high. And I think you say, well, what would be an adequate punishment, Dave? These guys have more money than God. Don't fine them. Take away their draft picks. Penalize them for the tanking. Tell me your tanking story on the comment section. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I am such a frustrated fan here in Phoenix. I don't have a baseball team to root for because I can't get emotionally invested behind an owner who's not committed to winning. And the same thing is true with the Suns. It's just, of course, Robert Sarver. I don't see Sarver as being really an emotionally stable individual. I know so many people personally don't like him. I had my one encounter with him. I don't like him. He drives off everybody around him. And it's funny, when people leave the Suns, they go on to great things. Steve Kerr, run off as general manager, and what does he do at Golden State? Yeah, exactly. And we look at this situation played out consistently in that organization. So I don't know that taking away draft picks is going to change Sarver's behavior so you have a different mentality running your team. But I think that anyone who tanks should be fined their draft picks by whatever league they're in. By the way, in one of our previous broadcasts, I mentioned the Coyotes didn't have ownership. Well, they finally do, but we don't know if the team is going to stay here in Phoenix. It is tough being a Phoenix fan. I think the only equivalent we have would be the Cleveland Browns, but my gosh, the Browns are going to be good this year, or they should be. The Indians, well, I don't know. Take your pick. But tell us your tanking story. Really looking forward to hearing about it. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe and come back here and visit us often. And always leave a comment and a thumbs up, hopefully. We'll see you back here again next time.